running back depth was basically the strength of the team after the draft. It was like you signed Wayne Gallman, you have Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert, and you drafted 2 also. Dang, son, that's a lot of running backs. And now they're all hurt. So what do you think of that?
I mean, it makes me sad because every year we're like, the 49ers injury, it's just unprecedented. The injury bug that has hit this team year after year after year after year. And we go into the season and we say, it can't possibly happen again. Can't possibly happen again, Grant.
Possibly.
It happened.
It did.
It happened. And thankfully it did happen to the deepest room on the team. But certainly when we got to the draft, you looked at it and you said, why did they take 2 running backs? Well, thank God they took 2 running backs, right? I mean, it's like all of a sudden
running backs
you
now.
need all that
Those
depth.
are their running backs.
Where's Wayne Gallman when you need him? You know?
Yeah, like all the other guys, Wilson, Mostert, Hasty, Gallman, gone. It's Mitchell, it's Sermon, and some other guys that I haven't heard of until last week. Like Trent Cannon, never heard of that guy when the Niners signed him. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to look him up. Same with Jaquez Patrick. Never heard of you, ever.
Yes, and you had to get the pronunciation correct, which you just did. Very impressive. Jaquez, not Jacques. One thing I love about football players is if they do, God forbid, have a French name, almost invariably they never pronounce it the French way because that's just not tough. You're kidding? It's football. This is America. We'll need that French stuff around here. They lost World War II, okay? Well, not really. I mean, we had to help. Sorry, I vaguely remember what happened in that war. Okay, so where they stand right now is Mitchell's looking – John Lynch called him very questionable, which is hilarious. What does that mean? That's a new designation.
Like they're going to name him questionable because they're hoping and wishing and praying, but it's more like doubtful.
Yeah.
So they're hoping Sermon goes. And the interesting thing about Sermon is it's not up to them. This is what the concussion protocol is there for.
Correct.
Oh, you're desperate. You need this guy to really play 1 week after a concussion. We'll see. It's up to the league. And so far, so good, but they could get the rug pulled out from under them on Sunday morning and be like, didn't pass the protocol. Sorry. What are you going to do? So that's the position they're in.
That would be brutal. And going into this game, running back matters. I mean, this is when we looked at this game on the schedule at the beginning of this season, you looked at the matchup as, we're going to run all over Green Bay. Green Bay can't handle our run game.
Right.
But now you have to question.
But, right, yeah, it's like if the running back is Jaquez Patrick 19 times, are you going to win that game? Maybe. And if they do, then you really got to give it up to Kyle Shanahan. Because I feel like a lot of people have said in jest throughout the years, oh, man, I could run for 100 yards in this system. Well, we're going to put that theory to the test this Sunday night. I have a feeling, not to get too deep into what we're going to talk about this later, I think there's going to be a lot of play action. This is going to be on Jimmy. How can they really run the ball 40 times? They don't have the running backs to do it. They were in this position a lot last year where their running backs were Jerick McKinnon and JaMychal Hasty, and they just couldn't run that much. And so what they had to do was drop back Nick Mullins and throw a lot. And, people blame Nick Mullins for that. Maybe it was Nick Mullins' fault. We'll see what Jimmy does because so far he's been handing the ball off a lot, whether or not they've been getting big gains. And now I don't think they can. Unless Trey Lance becomes a running back.
Ooh, I would love to see Trey on Sunday nights. But, I mean, you got to look at the 4 running backs that none of us know. Trenton Cannon clearly looks like just a special teams ace, right? In there for kick returns, gunner. Kerryon Johnson, that's an interesting one to me on the practice squad, a previous second-round pick for the Lions, right? There's some talent there. Obviously, there was enough to get drafted in the second round. So in this new scheme, is that potentially someone who could get a couple of carries and actually be productive?
If he's healthy, maybe. Let's see. They may call up someone from the practice squad. Like, let's say Mitchell can't go. Then they're going to call up someone, and I'm thinking my guess is it'll be Chris Thompson because he played for Kyle back in the day.
Yeah, 2013 Washington football team.
Yeah.
And he was a very productive back in 15, 16, 17, catching passes out of the backfield. Anyone in fantasy football knows him because he was a PPR nightmare.
Oh, he certainly was. He used to be really good. Alex Smith, who was it? Was it Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins? Someone used to get him the ball a lot. Both of them, I think.
Yes.
Anyway. So it's dire, but if the Niners could get anyone, Chris Thompson, Kerryon Johnson, to turn back the clock and be serviceable, they can win this game because it seems like the defense is going to really play well. It should. It should. I don't know about the secondary, but the pass rush, almost lost the whole operation here. The pass rush should be really good.